Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a deep breath and feel this truth right now. Your life is not happening tomorrow, it's happening today. Every second you spend just thinking, hesitating, or making excuses is a second stolen from the person you're meant to become. The moment has come to stop blaming circumstances, stop waiting for permission, and stop saying, "I'll start next week." Because the reality is this: there is no perfect moment, there is no magical alignment of stars, and the only thing standing between you and the life you dream of is the decision to take action right now. You have the power within you, the strength, the creativity, the resilience to rewrite your story. The question is, will you finally step up and claim it, or will you let another day slip through your fingers crowded by excuses that don't serve you? Today is your invitation to rise, to push past fear, to stop hiding behind what ifs and I can't. Every great life, every extraordinary achievement started the exact same way, with someone deciding that enough was enough. And today, that someone can be you. Life is not a rehearsal. It is happening right now, in this very moment. Too often, people convince themselves that they will start tomorrow, that the perfect conditions must align, or that some external factor must fall into place before they can take action. But the truth is, waiting for the perfect moment is a trap that keeps dreams locked in the realm of imagination and potential. The perfect moment rarely arrives because life is unpredictable, constantly shifting and unforgivingly fast. If you keep waiting for a flawless scenario, you will find yourself standing still while the world moves forward. Every second spent hesitating is a second lost forever, a moment in which growth, opportunity, and transformation could have begun. Life unfolds in the now, and the power to shape it exists only in the choices you make today, not in the promises of tomorrow. Recognizing this truth is the first step toward real transformation. When you embrace the reality that action is required immediately, you ignite a force within yourself that has the power to break through limitations and fear. It is in taking those first steps, however imperfect, that momentum begins to build. The fear of starting is natural, but it is also a signal that you are on the edge of growth. The challenge is not in waiting for readiness. The challenge is in cultivating courage and commitment in the moment, in moving forward even when conditions are less than ideal. Every successful person you admire understood this principle intuitively. They did not wait for permission or for circumstances to be perfect. They began where they were with what they had and allowed action to create clarity. Life rewards those who engage with it proactively, those who understand that opportunity is born in motion, not in hesitation. When you stop waiting, you begin to notice the abundance of possibilities around you. Doors that seem closed start to open because you are actively moving toward them rather than passively hoping for them to swing wide. This mindset shift from waiting to acting changes everything. It transforms fear into fuel, uncertainty into excitement, and doubt into determination. The small steps you take today, no matter how insignificant they seem, accumulate into progress, creating patterns of success and growth that compound over time. Every single day that you choose to act rather than delay becomes a building block for the life you envision. The moment you decide to stop waiting and start engaging with your life, you unleash a power within yourself that can overcome obstacles, seize opportunities, and propel you toward your goals with unstoppable momentum. This principle is not just about productivity, it is about awakening to your own potential, recognizing that the life you desire is not hidden somewhere in the future, but is available in the choices you make, the actions you take, and the commitment you make to yourself right now. Waiting for the perfect time is an illusion, a comforting story we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort, to avoid risk, and to delay responsibility. But real growth, real transformation, and real achievement come only when you act decisively, when you step boldly into the moment you have, and when you refuse to let the fleeting passage of time slip through your fingers. The essence of living fully is understanding that the present is the only place in which life can be built, and that the decision to embrace it with urgency and intention is yours alone to make. Excuses are the silent saboteurs of our potential, the invisible chains that keep us trapped in comfort zones while our dreams drift further away. Every time we say, "I can't because," or "I'll do it when," we are giving power to limitations that exist only in our minds. Excuses create a story in which we are powerless, where circumstances, people, or luck are responsible for our outcomes, and in doing so, we relinquish control over our own lives. The danger of excuses is that they feel harmless at first. They give us temporary relief from discomfort, fear, or uncertainty, But over time, they accumulate into a lifetime of unfulfilled promise, opportunities missed, and potential wasted. The moment you begin to examine your excuses, to see them for what they truly are, you realize that they are often self-imposed barriers. They disguise fear as reason, hesitation as prudence, and avoidance as strategy. When we blame the world for our circumstances, we give away our power to change them. The truth is that responsibility is liberating, not limiting. Taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and results places the control back in your hands and transforms excuses into action. People who achieve extraordinary success do not do so because life was easy or because conditions were perfect. They do it because they refuse to let excuses dictate their path. They acknowledge challenges, accept reality, and choose to act anyway. Excuses cannot survive in an environment of relentless accountability and commitment. When you confront excuses head on, you begin to notice patterns in your own thinking. You recognize how often fear masquerades as practicality or how procrastination pretends to be waiting for the right moment. By identifying these patterns, you gain the ability to interrupt them and redirect your energy towards solutions rather than justifications. Each time you replace an excuse with a choice, you build confidence, resilience, and momentum. This is not about perfection or never encountering obstacles. It is about refusing to allow any obstacle to become a permanent excuse for inaction. Every small victory over an excuse compounds into a stronger belief in your own capabilities. You start to see that you are capable of far more than you imagined, that limitations are often illusions, and that the only real barrier to success is the story you tell yourself. The moment you stop justifying why you can't and start focusing on what you can do, a shift occurs in your life. Energy that was once spent defending inaction is now redirected toward creation, progress, and transformation. Life responds to those who take responsibility because action begets results, and results reinforce belief. Excuses may be comfortable, but they are never productive. Choosing action over excuse is the decision that separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who wait from those who live with intention, and those who settle from those who rise to their full potential. The power to change your life begins with recognizing excuses for what they are, temporary illusions that crumble under the weight of determination, courage, and consistent action. Personal responsibility is the cornerstone of transformation, the undeniable truth that your life is shaped not by circumstance, luck, or the actions of others, but by the choices you make and the accountability you take for them. Too often, people drift through life blaming external forces for their struggles, believing that if only conditions were different, they could succeed. Yet this mindset keeps them trapped in a cycle of passivity, waiting for permission or opportunity to arrive instead of actively creating it. Taking personal responsibility means acknowledging that you are the architect of your own life, that every decision, action, and response contributes to the trajectory of your journey. It is not about self-blame or dwelling on past mistakes. It is about recognizing that power to change, to grow, and to achieve rests firmly within you. When you embrace responsibility, you no longer give away your power to circumstance. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of events and begin to see yourself as a driver of outcomes. This shift in mindset is liberating because it transforms obstacles from barriers into challenges that can be overcome with deliberate action. Responsibility also demands honesty. Honesty with yourself about your goals, your habits, and the areas where you fall short. It requires that you confront the uncomfortable truths of your own behavior, that you stop rationalizing failures and start analyzing them as feedback for improvement. Those who thrive in life understand that success is never an accident. Every achievement, no matter how large or small, is the result of consistent choices, sustained effort, and the willingness to own both victories and setbacks. By accepting personal responsibility, you cultivate resilience because you no longer rely on external validation or circumstances to define your worth. You recognize that setbacks are temporary, that mistakes are lessons, and that progress is built through persistent effort and accountability. Responsibility also fuels empowerment. When you understand that your life is your creation, you gain the freedom to redesign it intentionally. You begin to ask powerful questions like, what can I do today to move closer to my vision? And how can I take ownership of my circumstances rather than complain about them? Each decision made from this perspective reinforces your ability to influence outcomes and strengthens your confidence in your own capacity to navigate challenges. Moreover, personal responsibility is contagious. It inspires those around you to adopt the same mindset, creating an environment where accountability and action drive collective progress. It shifts your focus from excuses, blame, and waiting for permission to proactive, solution-oriented thinking. Ultimately, embracing personal responsibility is not merely a principle. It is a commitment to yourself, a pledge that you will no longer relinquish control over your life, that you will confront challenges head-on, and that you will actively shape your destiny with intention, courage, and unwavering determination. Progress in life is rarely the result of sudden, monumental actions. It is the accumulation of small, consistent steps taken with purpose and dedication. Too often, people underestimate the power of routine, the impact of daily effort, and the compounding effect of consistent behavior over time. They wait for dramatic breakthroughs, expecting change to come in a single, transformative moment, but true transformation is rarely instant. It is built incrementally through repetition, persistence, and a commitment to keep moving forward even when results are not immediately visible. Small actions, when performed consistently, create momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that propels us forward, turning effort into habit and habits into progress. Each time you choose to act instead of delay, to push instead of retreat, you strengthen the foundation upon which your future success will rest. It is in the disciplined pursuit of small, meaningful actions that mastery develops, confidence grows, and results compound. This principle applies to every area of life: health, career, relationships, personal growth. Indie finances. Skipping one day may feel inconsequential, but the pattern of inconsistency erodes progress. Conversely, maintaining even modest actions every day leads to exponential improvement, and over time, those small efforts accumulate into results that seem almost magical in retrospect. Consistency also builds resilience because it teaches you to persist in the face of setbacks, to continue acting even when motivation wavers or circumstances challenge your resolve. Every time you commit to showing up, even imperfectly, you reinforce the belief that effort produces outcomes and that you are capable of controlling your trajectory. This is the essence of leverage in personal development. It is not the size of the action, but the regularity and dedication behind it that determines ultimate impact. People who achieve extraordinary results understand this principle intuitively. They focus on the process, not just the outcome, and they honor the daily steps that others overlook. They recognize that waiting for motivation or perfect conditions is futile because progress is born from disciplined action, not inspiration. Small, consistent actions also create a psychological momentum that fuels further action. Each accomplishment, no matter how minor, reinforces belief, strengthens commitment, and increases the likelihood of taking the next step. Over time, this cycle compounds, and the cumulative effect of sustained effort far outweighs any single isolated act. The key is to commit to action consistently, to embrace the grind of daily improvement, and to trust the process even when immediate results are not evident. Through this approach, what once seemed impossible becomes attainable, and what once felt distant gradually becomes your reality. Consistency transforms dreams into tangible outcomes, turning intentions into habits, habits into achievements, and achievement into a life built intentionally and powerfully through the relentless application of small, meaningful steps. The future you desire is not shaped by wishful thinking or idle hope. It is forged by the choices you make and the actions you take today. Too often, people fall into the trap of believing that tomorrow will somehow be easier, that one day circumstances will align, or that a sudden stroke of luck will carry them to success. Yet the reality is that your future is created in the present moment, in the decisions you make, the priorities you set, and the effort you commit to each day. Every choice, no matter how small, has the power to move you closer to your goals or further away from them. Procrastination, hesitation, and indecision are silent thieves of time, robbing you of opportunities to build the life you envision. The longer you delay action, the more distant your dreams become, and the more challenging it will be to recover lost momentum. Recognizing that your future is constructed today demands a shift in mindset from passive anticipation to active creation. It requires understanding that your circumstances do not define you, your responses to those circumstances do. Each day presents countless opportunities to make choices that align with your vision, to take steps that compound into meaningful progress, and to act in ways that bring you closer to the life you want. Success is not a single moment in time. It is the accumulation of consistent, intentional actions that reflect your priorities and values. People who achieve extraordinary results are keenly aware of this principle. They understand that waiting for the perfect timing or ideal conditions is futile, and that the power to shape their destiny lies in the deliberate decisions they make today. They make choices with foresight, understanding that even seemingly insignificant actions have long-term consequences. Discipline, focus, and commitment become the tools through which the future is built, because day becomes a building block for what lies ahead. By taking responsibility for your actions and refusing to defer decisions, you actively sculpt the life you desire. Every choice to invest time, energy, and effort in your goals strengthens the foundation for future success. Likewise, every decision to give in to distraction, fear, or passivity weakens that foundation and delays progress. The principle is simple but powerful. The quality of your future is determined by the quality of your decisions today. When you internalize this truth, you stop postponing growth, stop waiting for permission, and stop hoping for luck to intervene. Instead, you begin to live intentionally, prioritizing actions that align with your aspirations, seizing opportunities, and making progress every single day. This perspective transforms the present from a place of passive waiting into a launchpad for achievement, empowerment, and fulfillment, ensuring that the life you dream of is no longer left to chance, but is deliberately and consistently created through the choices you commit to today.